We have all felt that rush when holding a lottery ticket, believing this time will be different. We trust our numbers, our instincts, and our luck. Yet somehow the result never changes. The truth is simple but hard to accept. There is one mistake that 90% of players make without realizing it, and it keeps us from winning. Today we will reveal that mistake and open a new path. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment to invite winning energy into your life. Watch until the end, and your next ticket could be the one. Number 1, you treat every ticket like a fresh start. Have you ever told yourself this time will be different, even though nothing about the way we play has changed? That belief feels exciting, but it hides one of the most damaging mistakes we make. Most of us approach every ticket like a brand new opportunity, completely disconnected from what happened before. We forget our patterns, we ignore our habits, we rely on hope instead of awareness, and that is exactly why we stay stuck. The truth is, lottery games are random, but our behavior is not. When we repeat the same way of choosing numbers, the same timing, the same emotional decisions, we are not improving our chances. We are simply repeating a cycle without learning anything from it. Think about it. How often do we pick numbers based on feelings, memories, or quick guesses? How often do we say this feels lucky without any real reason? That mindset creates the illusion of control, but in reality, it keeps us blind to our own patterns. Winners do not treat every ticket as a reset. They become aware of how they play. They question their habits. They step back and look at their decisions instead of blindly repeating them. If we keep starting over every time without reflection, we will keep getting the same result. And that result is losing. Number 2, you let emotion choose your numbers. Right before we pick our numbers, something happens that most of us never notice. We are not thinking logically anymore. We are feeling. Maybe we remember a birthday. Maybe we chase numbers that almost won last time. Maybe we follow a lucky feeling that just feels right in the moment. It gives us comfort. It makes the choice easier. But it also quietly leads us in the wrong direction. Emotion creates patterns that feel personal, but the lottery does not care about personal meaning. When we choose numbers based on memories or feelings, we limit ourselves without realizing it. We keep circling around the same range, the same combinations, the same habits. There is also a hidden trap here. When we lose, we tend to double down on those emotional choices. We think we were close. We think the feeling was right. So we repeat it again, hoping this time it pays off. That loop is where most players get stuck. The more emotional our decisions become, the less aware we are of how predictable our behavior actually is. And predictable behavior in a random game does not give us an advantage. It just keeps us repeating the same losing cycle. If we want to change our results, we have to step away from emotional picking, because the moment feelings take over, logic disappears, and when logic disappears, so do our chances. Number 3, you think playing more means winning more. It sounds logical, right? The more tickets we buy, the higher our chances. That idea feels so convincing that most of us never question it. But this is exactly where many players go wrong. We start believing that increasing the number of tickets is the same as increasing control. So we spend more, play more often, and expect results to follow. For a moment, it even feels like we are getting closer. But in reality, nothing fundamental has changed. Each ticket still has the same odds as the last one. Buying more does not fix bad habits, and it does not correct the mistakes we keep repeating. It only makes us more invested emotionally and financially. And when we are more invested, we become less objective. There is also a psychological trap here. When we play more, we begin to feel that a win is overdue. We tell ourselves it has to happen soon. That belief pushes us to keep going, even when the results stay the same. We confuse persistence with progress. The truth is uncomfortable. Playing more without changing how we play simply multiplies the same outcome. It does not bring us closer to winning. It just brings us deeper into the same cycle. If we want different results, we cannot rely on doing more. We have to understand what we are doing wrong. Otherwise, more effort only leads to more losses. Number 4, you believe you were close last time. Let's be honest with ourselves. How many times have we looked at the results and said we were almost there? Maybe 2 numbers matched, maybe 3, maybe just 1 number off from something big. And in that moment, It feels like we were close. That feeling is powerful. It gives us hope. It tells us we are on the right track. But here's the truth most players never accept. In the lottery, almost winning is the same as completely losing. We convince ourselves that being close means we are improving. We start thinking our method is working, so we keep using the same numbers, the same approach, the same mindset. We hold on to it because it feels justified. But the game does not reward being close. It does not measure effort or progress. Every draw resets everything. What happened last time has no influence on what happens next. This belief creates a dangerous loop. The more we feel close, the more we repeat the same choices. And the more we repeat them, the deeper we fall into a pattern that never actually leads to a win. If we keep telling ourselves we were close, we stop questioning our decisions. And once we stop questioning, we stop improving. That is how this mistake quietly keeps us losing, again and again. Number 5, you follow patterns that feel safe. Before we even realize it, many of us fall into a quiet routine. We pick numbers that look balanced. We avoid numbers that seem too close together. We spread them out because it feels right. It feels smart. It feels safe. But that sense of safety is an illusion. The lottery does not reward patterns that look good to the human eye. It does not care if numbers are evenly spaced or visually satisfying. Yet we keep building combinations that make sense to us, thinking we are being strategic. Here's the problem. When we choose numbers this way, we are not being random at all. We are creating predictable structures. We avoid certain combinations without even knowing it, simply because they look strange or uncomfortable. And that is exactly where most players limit themselves. Truly random results often look messy. They can include clusters, repeats, or sequences that feel wrong. But because we avoid those possibilities, we never fully participate in the real range of outcomes. We end up playing a smaller game inside a much bigger one. The moment we prioritize comfort over randomness, we reduce our chances without seeing it. It feels like control, but it is actually restriction. If we want a real shot at winning, we have to let go of what looks right. Because what looks right to us is often the very thing holding us back. Number 6, you wait for the perfect moment to play. Let's flip the perspective for a second. Not about how we choose numbers, but when we choose to act. Many of us quietly believe there's a right moment to play. A lucky day, a special date, a time that feels aligned, so we wait. We skip draws because something does not feel right. We delay because we think a better opportunity is coming. We tell ourselves we will play when the signs are stronger, when the timing feels perfect. But here is the reality. The lottery does not recognize timing the way we do. There is no hidden advantage in waiting for a better moment. Every draw operates independently, without memory, without preference. What actually happens when we wait is something else entirely. We build hesitation into our behavior. We start relying on feelings instead of consistency. And over time, that hesitation turns into missed chances. There is also a subtle mental trap. When we finally decide to play after waiting, we expect more from that ticket. We believe it carries extra weight because we chose the right moment. That expectation creates pressure, and pressure leads to poor decisions. We think we are being patient, but we are really being inconsistent. If we want to improve anything, we need clarity, not timing. Because the moment we depend on a perfect time to act, we give up control without even noticing it. Number 7, you never question the way you play. Let's pause for a moment and look at something uncomfortable. Not the game, not the numbers, but ourselves. How often do we actually stop and question the way we play? Most of us do not. We buy tickets the same way every time. We follow the same routine. We repeat the same decisions. And because it feels familiar, we assume it is fine. We assume nothing needs to change. But that is where the real problem begins. When something becomes routine, it becomes invisible. We stop paying attention. We stop analyzing. We stop asking whether what we are doing makes any sense at all. And without realizing it, we lock ourselves into a pattern that never evolves. There is no adjustment, no reflection, no improvement, just repetition. Here is the hard truth. If the way we have been playing has not worked so far, continuing the exact same approach will not suddenly produce a different result. Yet most players never challenge that idea. They keep going, not because it works, but because it is comfortable. The moment we stop questioning, we stop growing. And in a game where awareness is the only thing we can control, losing that awareness means giving up our only advantage. If we want something to change, we have to be willing to look at what we are doing and admit it might not be working. Number 8, you believe winning is just about luck. Let's step back and face the biggest belief of all, the one that shapes everything we do. We tell ourselves the lottery is all about luck. Either it happens or it does not. Nothing else matters. That belief feels harmless. It even feels logical. But it is the exact reason most players never change anything. When we believe everything depends on luck, we stop paying attention to our own behavior. We stop learning. We stop adjusting. We accept losing as something normal, something expected. And once we accept that, we stop trying to improve the only part we can control. Here is what most people never realize. Luck decides the outcome, but habits decide how we show up to the game. And if our habits never change, our results will not feel any different over time. We keep playing the same way, thinking one day luck will save us. But luck does not correct mistakes. It does not reward repetition. It does not care how long we have been trying. This is where everything comes together. All the mistakes we talked about are not random. They come from the same place, a mindset that avoids awareness and leans entirely on chance. And that mindset is what keeps 90% of players exactly where they are. If we want a real shot at changing our experience, we have to shift how we think first. Because the moment we stop relying only on luck is the moment we finally start seeing clearly. And that clarity is where everything begins. Number 9, you expect the game to reward effort. There is a quiet expectation many of us carry without saying it out loud. The more we try, the more we deserve to win. The more tickets we buy, the closer we should be. It feels fair. It feels reasonable. But the lottery does not work that way. We bring a mindset from everyday life into a game that does not follow those rules. In most things, effort leads to progress, practice leads to improvement, time leads to results. So naturally, we assume the same applies here. That assumption creates a dangerous illusion. We begin to believe that persistence alone will eventually pay off. We tell ourselves that our time is coming because we have been consistent, because we have invested, because we have not given up. And when the win does not come, confusion starts to build, then frustration, then even stronger commitment to keep going, because now it feels like we have too much invested to stop. This is how players get trapped. The lottery does not track how hard we try. It does not reward dedication. It does not balance effort with outcome. Every draw remains completely independent, no matter what we have done before. Once we understand this, something shifts. We stop expecting fairness from the game. We stop tying effort to results. And that clarity frees us from a belief that quietly keeps us stuck. Because the moment we expect effort to guarantee anything, we lose sight of how the game truly works. So in the end, this one mistake is not just a small habit. It is a mindset that keeps 90% of us stuck in the same losing cycle without even realizing it. Once we see it clearly, we can start changing how we play and how we think. And that is where new possibilities begin. If this video helped you look at the lottery in a different way, take a moment to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your next ticket could feel very different starting today. Stay hopeful, stay patient, and keep believing that your moment can still come. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.